one more thing. No worries.
Of course. What's going on, everybody? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. And of course, my camera is being silly because I try to open up, Discord at the same time. There we go. Fixed and color coordinated and everything. What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Caffeine Crypto, where I welcome you to join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice, coffee, energy drink, tea. And if you don't like caffeine, grab some water. And we'll go over some crypto news. The market's looking pretty bleak because of week's events, but I do have somebody join me in today's Caffeine and Crypto, so I would like you to give us a warm welcome for Max Voltage here with us today. How you doing, Max? Pretty good, pretty good. Definitely a crazy week in the market. We're back up to 20K, right? We're up 2.12% on Bitcoin, 2% on Ethereum, 1.65 on BNB, and a lot of the other coins are in the red. But it's been a fun week. Now, I do a little bit of TA, but I'm not a TA expert. I'm gonna show you guys a chart here. You can see we kind of fell out of this range we were at, right? So at the beginning of the week, what was the beginning of the week? Yeah, so Sunday March 5th or Monday March 6th, we were sitting right on this. We were around 22.3K, and we just fell out at the beginning of the week. We continue to fall, and now we're bouncing at that 20K range. And it's kind of interesting, right? Because that 20K range has supported us for a long time. Obviously, that was close to the previous all-time high. So we're kind of bouncing. That is our support, and we're creating another trend where if we can keep going and keep climbing up, it would be an upward trajectory. However, if we fell even further, we could not only go to 18.2, 18.5K, but hit our legacy trend of almost 17K. So a lot of people are looking at 17K, expecting Bitcoin to get down that low. I don't have a crystal ball, but there's a lot of different trends that Bitcoin is either breaking or touching, right? Bouncing off, whether it's resistance or falling out of support or hitting like a brick wall. So it's very interesting what we're seeing here. And that's because Bitcoin dips below 21K. It reaches the lowest levels in 7 weeks as Silvergate Bank shuts down, shakes investors. Like, this is a continuing domino effect. Would you not? Would you agree with that, Max? Yeah. And so we got the dominoes falling, right? Silvergate was last week, I believe, but there's still after effects from it. Then this week we got Silicon Valley Bank collapse, right? This is a pretty interesting topic, only because Silicon Valley Bank is where a lot of the tech firms in Silicon Valley would, and I know I said that wrong twice, but anyways, you know what I'm talking about. SVP Bank is where a lot of the tech companies go to. And this announcement comes after the Silvergate situation, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going ever since FTX and so on. It just keeps going. So we're seeing a trend in, not a run on banks. I wouldn't say like Crypto Zombie K-Dub, great guy, met him in person, mentioned that it's kind of like 2008 all over again. Or no, not Crypto Zombie, excuse me. Altcoin Daily Brothers, Austin and Aaron, mentioned it was the 2008 event. I don't think it's quite like that, but it is definitely a situation where we're having these banks who were, I guess, overplaying their hand, spending money they didn't really have, customer funds, whatever, in crypto, and they lost out, and so they're in a sticky position. But I'm gonna read a couple things to you, and then let Max comment on it. Thank you everybody for joining over from Crypto Mikkel, Gandalf Gray, Kingtown Crypto King, appreciate you. Big Power Minds, Power Minds Crypto, Crypto Craig, Crypto Mikkel, of course, Chris Hanley, Automatic Beats, Tech Pro, and let's continue on. So the repercussions of the announcement while wind down of Silvergate Bank were still unfolding when Silicon Valley Bank failed. Market leaders Bitcoin and Ethereum saw heavy losses But they weren't the only losers. Virtually every leading cryptocurrency is down by double-digit percentage coming into the week. And not only that, the traditional stock market is as well. The markets were first rolled by the demise of crypto bank Silvergate. The writing was on the wall last week when the bank delayed filing its annual 10K report to the United States SEC, leading to the sustained pullback in prices throughout the previous week. The speculation continued on Tuesday when the White House press secretary said Washington was monitoring the situation. The following day, Silvergate parent company announced the bank was shutting down operations. The news led to a market-wide sell-off, which sent the combined market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies back below $1 trillion. We already know what Bitcoin is at right now. This just going to point out some metrics like Bitcoin fell this percent, that percent. That's not really relevant for the long term. Moving on, 70 billion wiped off a crypto market in 24 hours as Bitcoin drops below 20K. That was on March 10th, yesterday. $70 billion. But you know what's funny? All this FUD, all this craziness, all this seller pressure, and Bitcoin to me looks more resilient than I've ever seen it. So we're moving on to the big story that everybody's been talking about. And that's the crypto firm Circle reveals 3.3 billion exposure to Silicon Valley Bank. So, is it Silicon or Silicon? Okay, because I know some people like to rail me on it. So, Circle. Let's talk about Circle, Max. I'll let you lead off on that if you have any insight. What is Circle? I don't have the paperwork. Right.
But yeah, I mean, this is obviously something outside of Circle's control. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I think the story is just beginning, and we're going to find out a lot more information. And again, like I said, this is just one company coming out. We know that there's hundreds of startups that are linked to SVB, and it'll be really curious to see what happens with some of those. I mean, companies as large, I think, as LinkedIn have money at SVB as well.
That's great. And that's the problem is a lot of tech. And what's funny, the news showed a couple of guys, and you were muted there for part of that. So I apologize to the viewers, and that's my fault. The crazy thing is that all the tech companies, not all the tech companies, but a majority of them have an account with SVB. Some of the founders or CEOs or top execs of said tech companies were able to get their funds, but not all of them. And there was some news reporters outside showing, some of the founders trying to get into the door and doors were closed and all that good stuff. So Circle, and I just want to make sure I got this right. Is this the right Circle? I guess that's the right Circle. So you're home for the business growth, accelerating global growth, USD coin, Euro coin, yada, yada, yada. Scale your business, yada, yada, yada. So digital asset subject, where are you? Circle Internet Financial LLC. It's licensed by the money transmitter to New York State Federal Department. Apparently not. So who is tied to Circle is the question. I don't have a way to verify that. We can speculate on it, but who is actually tied to Circle?
Yeah, that I'm not sure of. I know that Coinbase, I think, halted trading on it on their platform. I think probably pretty much all platforms that were trading USDC probably have halted it at this point. But yeah, it's obviously it's concerning, and it's curious to see. I mean, I certainly wouldn't. I'd be pulling my money out of USDC if I could. That's for sure, because you just don't know. It's not backed 1-to-1 at this point if they've got 3.3 billion locked up at SVB.
Right.
For those people that aren't familiar with FDIC, there's the strict, my understanding at least, is the strict insurability is, limited. It's not like if you have 3.3 billion, it's not all insured. It limits each account and however many accounts they may have had open. So as far as what their exposure is, it's really hard to say.
So if I have a decent amount of money locked up in a bank that's basically, and this is where the financial crisis of 2008 keeps getting said in the market. But if I have that type of money locked up, I'm kind of putting myself in a bind, and then I might fall too. So as you see more and more people, like how many people mentioned they had funds locked up in FTX? So it just kept collapsing, and then what? Gemini had some funds with Genesis, and Genesis wasn't paying them. So it's just the continuing dominoes. So I'm gonna read a little bit here. We got the U.S. cryptocurrency firm Circle has 3.3 billion of 40 billion of USD coin reserves at the collapse lender SVB Bank, or well, I guess it's SVB. That's everything. Silicon Valley Bank. So I'm just gonna say SVB. The company said on a tweet Friday the stablecoin company's announcement comes after startup focus SVB collapsed on Friday, the largest bank failure since 2008 financial crisis. Roiling global markets and stranding billions of dollars belonging to companies and investor traders have been on guard this week for signs of the contagion in the financial sector and beyond from troubles for SVB and crypto-focused Silvergate, which this week disclosed plans to wind down operations, voluntarily liquidate. And as they liquidate, as we see more and more crypto or funds liquidated, that brings the market down even further, especially as we continue through some more bankruptcy filings like Celsius, by the way. So yeah, this caused the market to take a huge hit. When was this disclosed? Let's see here. This was written 3 hours ago, but we found out about SVB. I think it was like Thursday evening, Friday morning, and you could see Thursday, the 9th of March, we were at 21.7, and we fell all the way down to 20K, picked up a little bit, and then now we're sitting on this trend line here. So I don't expect, and this is just speculation, all for entertainment value, not financial advice. I don't expect us to pick up anytime soon. And all the articles discussed in today's video will be linked in the description, by the way, if you're interested. So yeah, this is just crazy. So what about Celsius? Do you think this impacts Celsius or has any effect on Celsius, or Celsius maybe had some funds in SVB or Silvergate?
Like I said, they self-reported that they had 3.3 billion in SVB. So yeah, obviously that would have a significant impact on them. I mean, considering they've only raised a little over $1 billion from investors, so to have 3 times that amount locked up at a bank that's going under, yeah. I mean, when are they going to be able to gain access to their funds? Are they ever going to be able to gain access to a substantial portion of those funds? I don't know.
Not. Probably not.
And the fact that the news came out on Friday, can't get any information from anybody over the weekend.
Nope.
So the earliest we're going to have any time, I think the latest news was that they're going to open up as Deposit Insurance Bank of Santa Clara or something like that is how they're going to open up business on Tuesday. But as what though? And what will companies be able to gain access to? That's the real question.
Well, this is just putting more of a damper, and because, and I'm going to read something that Chris Hingley said, but because there's, I would say, and I don't keep any money on the exchanges that I'm not willing to lose, like if it's being traded or something like that, I always keep it in wallets that I have full control, own the keys to, and stuff like that. But I do have, like, for example, I'm going to be going on a trip soon to go hang out with our boys at Pantera, catch up with some friends, and my Coinbase card, I use USDC, so I'm earning a little bit of APY on it, but then I can swipe that card at the gas station or whatever to pay for stuff. The problem here, and I'm going to read it to you, is Chris Hanley says, summary, USD coin or USDC is a stable coin issued by Centra and joint venture between Coinbase and Circle. The cryptocurrency is backed by the US dollar and dominated assets held at regulated and audited. You know, is so Coinbase, you said some exchanges halted USDC trading?
Is last I had heard, I thought I heard that Coinbase had halted. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, so DJ Mines came out with a video this morning saying that USDC had depegged and was trading at 7% below $1, so trading at 93 cents.
Yeah, so 99 cents. 99 cents last night. It was 99 cents last night, and then that was at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then it fell all the way down. By 2:50 in the morning, it was 87 cents, and right now it's only at 92 cents. So it did depeg. Volume is really climbing compared to the typical volume of 5 to 6 billion. We're talking 24-25 billion dollars in volume over the time from 11:30 to now. And that's consistently. You can see these are different ranges in times and stuff like that. Look at that volume. It's just ridiculous. So obviously people are trying to move some assets, reallocate, maybe switch over to a different stable coin, which I think all stable coins are really on the hot seat right now. Not only because of government, but because of regulation, you know, the current situation that we're in as an economy, the world. So more pain to be felt in the market is what I've been saying, what I've been saying on Twitter, what I said weeks ago. And this is the hit. Will we go down more? I think we will, but this is just pure speculation because I don't have a crystal ball. So you just need to pay attention. Don't leave your assets on exchanges or centralized authorities. Obviously, you got to use your bank. I understand that. Go to your bank. You rely on your bank. Hopefully, your bank is not, because this isn't the only bank that I've seen close down. I actually just saw a 60-minute of another bank closed down, and then the FDIC had to come in and like they sold the bank to another person or another company who took over and basically swapped out the signs and just kept going as a financial institution. But that was just like a small time, you know, mom and pop bank. It wasn't like a Wells Fargo or any of the top banks. But Pantera Capital is also in a little bit of trouble. It looks like crypto-focused venture capital and investment giant Pantera Capital recently had assets with SVP as well. According to the regulatory filing last month, the Form ADV dated February 3rd, Pantera listed SVP as one of the 3 custodians for its private funds alongside BitGo and the custodial service of crypto exchange Coinbase. The filing is required for registered investment advisors. CoinDesk reached out to Pantera for comment but have not received a response. Everybody's right now being quiet, right? This happened Thursday night, Friday morning. The doors were shut to their actual physical banks or locations. Some founders got their money out, not all founders. People in tech are trying to ask where their money is. You know, so I don't know, man. This sucks. I hate this. Pantera restructured its upper management last month after the departure of co-chief investment officer Joey Krudge, whatever. The firm revealed in January that its liquid token fund lost 80% during 2022. So, I mean, on Twitter, and I know Twitter can be a negative space and a positive space, just really depends on how you use it. I mentioned that, you know, there was an old video, I'm not sure if you guys seen it, where the gentleman from the EU was trying to explain to whoever the committee was that banks are the problems. And that, you know, fractional reserve banking and yada yada yada, they're playing with money that they don't actually own, is still a problem, and they haven't even fixed it. And I repeated that clip online, and it really comes down to the people in power, the people capable of running these banks or lobbying the politicians for certain regulations, rules, whatever, to be in favor of them instead of the average person. A bank is not a bank anymore. A bank is just a place where you store money that you hope to get if they collapse, but then wind up getting stuck like Chuck. So a lot of people have been talking about be your own bank, right? Seth from Mind Your Biz talked about being your own bank. You can store your cryptocurrency yourself, and that's actually what I would call my piggy bank, right? My cryptocurrency is my piggy bank, but then I still have investments in traditional stocks. I'm still trading. I have cash. I have you know, assets not only in my house but my vehicles, so on and so forth, and everything I'm trying to do to protect myself for long-term wealth while everybody's trying to get rich quick. You're not going to get rich quick right now. Right now is the hard time. Just keep your head down, stack them sats, whether it's mining or trading, and don't keep those funds on centralized exchanges. So there's a couple more articles that I linked in the description that goes on about the SVB bank falling. Execution-level event, tech startup turmoil, yada yada yada. It's just bad news bears across the board. So I have nothing to add, Max. Do you have anything to add to this
Well,
entire
I mean,
SVB situation?
I think basically news of what companies are affected is going to be coming out gradually over the weekend. There's articles all over the place. I think basically it's going to be those businesses that are just trying to keep their head down and trying to keep their names out of the news, and then others that are saying, I need to get ahead of this and I need to make sure that everybody knows we are affected by it. So those are the two strategies. So like Roku, big company, has 487 million tied up in it. And then for those people that are hoping to get their BlockFi money back, well, 227 million are locked in at SVB. So, and interestingly enough, depending on what account you had it in. So BlockFi, their money is not FDIC insured at SVB. So that makes it sound like that over 200 million is just lost. So I know BlockFi had a plan in place to pay investors back, but yeah, I don't know. If you took 220 million out of my back pocket, I wouldn't be able to pay
Right.
investors. So I'm kind of curious to see what the fallout of that might be for those people hoping to get their BlockFi money back.
And so BlockFi had a situation in the beginning. I think it wasn't with Circle or Celsius before FTX. It was before Sam Bankman-Fried bought out BlockFi. There was something else that happened. I forgot what it was. BlockFi was going insolvent, and trading and withdrawals were halted, and then SBF saved them, and then they collapsed again. So as soon as FTX happened, what I want to say is this. I learned my lesson the first time. Once the funds were able to be withdrawn from BlockFi, it was only a couple hundred. Once the funds were able to withdraw, because I was staking Chainlink because that had the highest APY for any other place that was out there, I immediately got it out. But I did wait to the last minute. FTX collapsed. I knew BlockFi was next because Sam Bankman-Fried had saved them, and I went to withdraw. Here's the thing. I literally got the withdrawal request right at the edge of when they stopped withdrawals. Like literally minutes later, they stopped withdrawals. And I thought my funds were gone. I'm not getting it, whatever. A couple hundred, no biggie. I'm not going to, it's not going to hurt me too bad. But I was able to get the funds. But some people who commented on the tweet were not. They were a little bit behind me, a little bit later. And unfortunately, those funds are now going to go through a bankruptcy filing. And I actually got paperwork. I got paperwork for Celsius because they do have some funds of mine still. Again, not so much that it will hurt me and my family financially. Enough to sting, but not something that will break me. I'm still going through that process. Now we have this going on. But BlockFi, same thing. I got paperwork from them in the mail. I had to claim whatever my assets were at the time, my wallet address, all that stuff, fill out a bunch of paperwork. And submit it back if I wanted those funds back. But BlockFi, I was lucky enough, thank goodness. I'm sorry for many of you have impacted in Celsius just as well. So I'm not immune to the failures of these individuals, the failures of these people running these organizations or people with power and stuff like that. I'm not immune whatsoever. But I learned my lesson throughout the years, whether it was Mt. Gox, Silk Road, or any of the other. What was the other one? Cryptopia. Anybody remember Cryptopia? It was an exchange that a lot of people use, no KYC, but that guy is gone, right? If you had funds on there, it was just gone. You learn your lesson, but after a while, you just gotta protect yourself and store your assets somewhere safe to where you have full control instead of relying on. So don't be reliant on people. That's all I gotta say. But I'm gonna tweet this out. I forgot to say that we were live. Shipyard, this is interesting to me. I don't think if it has any relevance, but Shipyard, which is the software company behind the centralized crypto exchange Clipper, which operates Ethereum, Optimism, Polygon, Moonbeam, and Arbitrum, the company itself didn't have any funds in the account with Valley Bank, which was abruptly shuttered in California state banking regulators on Friday. Lori worries to stem from the fact that many of the venture capital funds and liquid providers who Shipyard and other tech startups rely on were SVB customers. They quote here, being put into a receivership doesn't mean no one's going to get their money back. It's different than a bankruptcy. It's not like SVB doesn't have assets, Lori said. But there's no clear answers on how long it would take for customers to get their money. It's not like people are going to get pennies on the dollar, but it could be years from now that they actually receive their assets or their funds. So the sounds of Silicon Valley SVB banks or SVB failure, the largest FDIC insured bank to fail since 2008, it's a blow that will rattle the banking and tech sectors at large than just crypto companies, and that's because it is. So
Circle, actually, I'm constantly doing searches here to see what other information. So Forbes just reported, like as of about an hour ago, crypto firm Circle revealed in a tweet late Friday it held 3.3 billion with the bank, adding the remainder of its 40 billion in cash was held elsewhere. So they had less than 10% of their operating funds actually at SVB. So that's actually really, really good news. And makes me think, okay, yes, everybody's having this like immediate reaction to this bad news because it is bad. But the actual effect on the overall market, I don't think will be quite as bad as what a lot of people are thinking. Roku, though, on the other hand, has 26% of their company's cash at SVB. They're saying that they're going to be fine, but that's a lot. 487 million of their 1.4 billion in cash was at SVB. So that's gotta hurt.
Well, they have a market cap of 8.41 billion.
Right. Right. So I mean, but we'll see. Yeah, they do now. Will they, right? When that news comes out? Because that's the thing. I mean, Monday.
That's a couple bill.
I'm sorry. Monday, I think, is going to be a bloodbath with the market. And anything NASDAQ related and tech related is going to fall on Monday. I'm sure it fell a little bit on Friday, but as all of this news trickles out over the weekend, who has exposure, who doesn't have exposure. Now, again, that's one of the good things about Friday. So maybe calmer minds will prevail because all of a sudden people will be like, oh, okay, yeah, these guys have exposure, but they have plenty of cash to continue operations. This is not going to jeopardize their ability to move forward. Again, SVB is in receivership. They will get, a significant portion of their funds. How much, we don't know yet, but it isn't going to affect the overall operation of the company. The worst part, though, is people aren't probably getting paid on yesterday.
Right.
With all this happening. So that's where when companies came out and said, yeah, we don't know how we're going to meet payroll. That's a problem.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
So hopefully, like I said, hopefully more news will come out over the weekend, and hopefully by Monday, companies will have a message out as to how they're going to move forward. I'm hoping some of these banks that can come in, and I don't want to say rescue because they're still going to make, smart decisions.
Right.
SVB was a place where all these startups went because nobody else would fund the money. But a lot of these startups have gotten a lot farther. They just have stuck with SVB because they're the ones that got them there. And why not? There was no reason to think that there was going to be this risk. So, but now that obviously the risk is present, they can now go to other banks and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. And other banks certainly will look at that as a business opportunity and say, great, yeah, we'd love to have an operating relationship with you. Here's what we can do in the short run to get you a credit line, to get all this stuff taken care of. And then let's look at how you can transfer some of your other funds that you have locked up in longer term investments that need to be liquidated in order to pay back this short-term line of credit and then establish a new cash account with us. So yeah, I'm hoping that there are some banks that are operating like that this weekend. I'm sure it's going to be on the down low. It's not going to be, but at the same time, right. But companies can come out and say, hey, look, we've come up with a solution. We'll give more details later, but our people are getting paid. our bills are getting paid. We have a solution and more to come. And that way they can kind of, really over the weekend put all of this to it's still bad, but it won't be as bad.
Well, the FDIC forms deposit insurance for troubled crypto startup lender SVP. So FDIC, and this is from investing.com. I haven't verified or validated this information 100%, but FDIC said depositors would have access to the insured deposits. There's 209 billion in assets and 175 billion in total deposits on SVP. And Binance CEO mocked U.S. critics as two banks become insolvent. Of course, CZ is going to take a chance to take a jibe at us because every time somebody mentioned FTX, they wanted to twist the story and point fingers at him for some damn reason. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things fall out. What comes Monday, right? Are we going to see the crypto market fall some more? And the traditional stocks market fall some more, possibly. Considering what Max said, I would agree. I would 100% agree. I want to give a quick shout out to Retro Mike Crypto for the $20 donation to the channel. If you guys need to get our attention, please add us in the chat or send us a super chat. That would be greatly appreciated. Max Voltage has his own channel, which I'm sure you're all very much aware of. Hangs out from time to time with Chump Change and the Misfit Mining crew. Great content, great information, great insight. I usually turn to Max for a number of things, so make sure you share some love with them. I'm gonna link it in the live chat right now. And moving,
thank you, appreciate that.
No problem, buddy. Moving on, the FBI did issue, and I'm not sure. Yeah, this was March 9th, 2023. Consumers intending to invest in cryptocurrency, be aware, be cautious, be educated. So it's good to see the government trying to educate the users. Now, they're not always right. They're not always 100% correct. But it's good to see that the government's trying to educate and advise end users. Hey, watch out for fraud, schemes, pig butchering, other terms, pump and dump, rug pulls, stuff like that. Be educated, verify, trust but verify, stuff like that, right? So it's good to see the FBI doing that. I did link it down in the description. This is from their public affairs specialist, Danette Rubisky. So thank you, Danette, for trying to help educate the populace on crypto. New York sues KuCoin, expands cryptocurrency crackdown. This is very interesting. Max, have you heard about this? New York Attorney General sues KuCoin, claims Ethereum is a security, which could be problematic for the cryptocurrency sphere.
I've heard about it, but I didn't really understand their basis for suing KuCoin.
Okay, well, let's see what we got here. Her name is Lolita James. That's the Attorney General for New York. Looks like on Thursday, sued KuCoin for failing to register with the state before letting investors buy and sell cryptocurrencies on its platform as part of an effort to rein in what she calls shadowy cryptocurrency companies. Now, KuCoin does a lot of business, in my opinion. Let's see here. So they're the fourth exchange. They, in CoinMarketCap did put this up after the whole FTX debacle, where there's a little icon next to exchange that says exchange reserves data available, where you can, go through the blockchain analysis and chain analysis and kind of confirm, their assets, their wallet, stuff like that. But I'm very skeptical of that, right? Because that only proves proof of reserves, but it doesn't prove the liabilities or show us what they're on the hook for or anything like that. So I kind of carry that with a little bit of a grain of salt, so to speak. But KuCoin is the fourth largest. 24-hour trading volume is in the 1.2 billion range. So not small whatsoever. But New York is very strict on cryptocurrencies. If you're not registered in New York, not the country, in New York and the country, you will get a target on your head. So it looks like it's primarily the earn, right? We've seen this with Paxos, right? What was the exchange recently that had an earn program that just got hit with something? Wasn't it Paxos? I just talked about it the other week. But yeah, so any exchange offering APY, APR, interest on the cryptocurrency you have, holding with them or whatever, they're going to have a target on their back and New York or various regulators and prosecutors are going to go after him, plain and simple, right? So Coinbase is one I have a concern with because again, I'm getting APY on the USDC, which is now depeg. They may halt it, so now I got $150 that I was going to use for my trip that may not be available come Monday, Tuesday, but I don't know. So that's something I need to monitor because that's something that impacts me directly. Anything that impacts you, keep an eye on the exchange, keep an eye on the news, see what's going on. But the fact that she's going after KuCoin is not surprising to me. The fact that she's claiming Ethereum as a security is a little bit concerning, but she doesn't have that power to label it that. So I don't want you to get misconstrued. That's not her job to label cryptocurrencies as a commodity or security. That's the CFTC or the SEC, which is still bickering on who it falls under. And hopefully we'll get that clarified. So we know that the suit's been filed. Let's see what she says here. About Ethereum. This action is one of the first times a regulator is claiming in court that ETH, one of the largest cryptocurrencies available, is a security. The petition argues that ETH, just like Luna and UST, is a speculative asset that relies on the efforts of third-party developers in order to provide profit to holders of ETH. The New York Attorney General lawsuit targets KuCoin for allegedly falsely representing itself as an exchange, when really it's a securities and commodities broker/dealer. It aims to block access to the exchange in New York by forcing KuCoin to geofence its website based upon IP address and GPS location. So if you have any funds in KuCoin and you're in New York, get the hell out. Get out.
It's actually interesting. This is not the first time they've done it. So I was just doing a quick search. Binance does not do operations in New York. Nope. Binance US, I mean. And Bittrex back in 2019, same thing. They were kicked out of the state. And were barred from doing business there. They actually did attempt to register, and the registration was not approved. So not the first rodeo, not something to honestly be that worried about, in my opinion. But yeah, if you're in New York State and you have a KuCoin account, yeah, time to move your funds, unfortunately.
Well, I just go after KuCoin for whatever, not register whatever. Just don't start pandering and labeling cryptocurrencies as a security, right? Like that's not your role. Let's stay in our lane, right?
Well, let's really look at what has been happening in New York, and I'm not getting political, but what other attorney general have you heard from, state attorney general have you heard from in this country other than her? Pretty much the only one that is out making press releases and such. She has bigger fish to fry. She has more political aspirations. She is out there to make a name for herself. So let's call it for what it is. She's out there doing all of this. Now, could it be, could she have done this in the background? Yeah, she could have. She could have been doing all of this, but no, she decided to come out with a press release, decided to make bigger claims that have nothing to do with this suit. It has everything to do with them registering and doing things correctly for the state of New York, but yet decide to make these bigger claims. So yeah, I kind of take all of that with Ethereum being a security and all that is irrelevant coming from her. And in any state attorney general for that matter. It's not for them to decide.
Right.
It's for the SEC to decide. Now, we all need to take notice as to what the SEC is saying regarding this, but I mean, I'm sorry. I don't like it when people, as you said, people need to stay in their lane. Yeah, you need to do things correctly as an attorney general. Our attorney general in the state of Illinois, I actually like him. He does things behind the scenes. Yes, there's news articles, but he's not on the TV and everything making waves as to what he's doing in the background for the benefit of the state. So anyway.
And Ether has long been treated, this is from a CoinDesk article, Ether has long been treated as a commodity by the state and federal regulators, including the CFTC, Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Designating it as security will be a massive impact, or would have a massive impact on the crypto markets, drastically changing how and whether the currency and others like it are traded in the U.S. It would impact. But again, she has no weight behind her words. She's just making waves. It really comes down to the SEC and the CFTC, which, by the way, the CFTC chair says Ethereum is a commodity despite Gensler's Bitcoin only position. Right, so we're not on the same page here. We got different people from different political backgrounds, different spheres of reality, providing opinions or thoughts on a situation, but it's not official, right? It's not officially called a commodity, even though it's been thought of for many years. It's not officially called a security just yet. However, paying attention to the stuff, as Max and I mentioned, is very important. You want to be aware of what's going on. You want to pay attention to what they're saying, and then, you know, obviously discern facts from fiction. But the CFTC does not agree with Gary Gensler, and a lot of people don't like Gary Gensler. I can vouch for that. I don't really like Gary Gensler, not as much, but I don't think it's just Gary Gensler. I think it's the old guard that needs to either update their ways or get out of the office and let the new wave in. But you know, we've had people in political positions that are very old, but still have a good grasp on the situation and how to adjust to whatever the people want, stuff like that. I don't think the people want Ethereum to be registered as security because that would impact so much. A commodity would continue to benefit us, but we'll see how things go. Just know that not everybody's on the same page. So while the AG's making waves and Gary Gensler's making waves, it's nothing is official. And again, the SEC and the CFTC don't even align on certain topics. So we'll see how things pan out in the long run. We got the last 15 minutes here of the show, guys. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, what's up, Crypto Noob UK? Welcome. Thank you for joining across the pond. Please post it in the chat or send a super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Ethereum Shanghai. I'm glad you came on, Max. So what are you thinking about the Shanghai upgrade?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, it's good that they're finally going to allow people to withdraw their funds. But will it actually just be a transition? Because think about it. There may be some people out there. Honestly, I don't have 32 ETH anymore. Well, I never had 32 ETH, but I have less ETH now than I did before. But for those people that do have 32 ETH, but said, hey, I'm not willing to get involved until I know that there's a ramp to take my money out. So you're going to have those people that might be willing to put their money in while others are ready to say goodbye to Ethereum. So it will be very, very interesting to see how this transition takes place. You know, I'm sure they have to have, you know, stops in place so that not too much gets withdrawn. Because if too much gets withdrawn, it breaks their proof of stake. It breaks their consensus model.
Right.
So I don't know. The whole thing is going to be interesting to watch. It honestly, it could be completely overblown. Maybe nobody's going to take their money out. Maybe everybody's going to. I mean, think about it. Who has 32 ETH other than a lot of the people that have part of the pre-mine?
And that's
people involved in the project. So maybe that's why they're like, yeah, no, nothing to worry about here, nothing to see here, because we know who all these people are and their stake's not going anywhere.
Wow, that's a lot of money locked in Ethereum.
I mean, there's definitely some people that are predicting that with this happening, there'll be more money locked in Ethereum, not less.
Right.
So like I said, it's gonna be interesting.
I can understand that. I would be in the same boat. If I had 32 ETH, which is not a small penny whatsoever, I want to make sure I have an on-ramp and an off-ramp before I get involved. And so by them doing this, we could wind up having more validators come into the fray, which is really nice. And I'm intrigued by it. I wish that there were some upgrades that they're not releasing, which this Shanghai upgrade, they're kind of pushing it back a little bit. But you know, it's very interesting. Now, they're not rolling out to where everybody can unstake all at once, right? Isn't it like a progressive rate? Like if you if you were one of the first people to lock, you can unlock, and then after certain dates, you'll be able to unlock. Is that how they're going about it? I think
that's my understanding, but I haven't honestly been listening and understand the fork completely. But that was, I know, something that was proposed a while back, which would make sense.
I've been saying I need to hit up Tim Vico and Micah, but I know they've been busy. I've been trying to listen to the dev meetings. I just can't sit through the whole dev meeting sometimes. I just want the cliff notes. But yeah, Uh, Ethereum is still moving forward. However, Ethereum has put a bad taste in many's mouth, and they have left Ethereum completely, or like Max and myself, sold a decent position of our holdings because, we were just done with it, right? Ethereum was very profitable to mine towards the later part of 29, well, not 2021. But nothing has taken over that crown, unfortunately, after Ethereum has left us. And the way they treated us is really very disappointing, even though we've made so many active efforts as miners and representatives of miners to work with them and try to make things happen. They were always going to switch to proof of stake. It's good to see that they're upgrading. It's good to see that they're moving forward. But the project may not be for me. However, there are a number of projects on Ethereum that I do like. So pick and choose your battles, I guess you could say. But there's a lot of money locked up. I don't expect it all to be coming down at once. There's how many? What? Wait a second. No way. There's 11,786 nodes on Ethereum. No, there's got to be more than that. How many Ethereum nodes are there? Because doesn't Flux have a bunch?
Have a bunch of Ethereum nodes?
No. Flux nodes. Flux nodes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Flux nodes, there's like, 15,000.
So Flux has more nodes than Ethereum. No, what is this? 40. That doesn't tell me anything. How many nodes does Ethereum have? Here we go. Etherscan. Wow, 12,366. What is it? Flux. That's miner pool. That's not what I meant. Where's my link? I need my link because I put it somewhere because I gotta track my own node.
I was gonna say you go to the second TL link, which is fluxnode.app.run on flux.io.
Yeah, I'm checking my node right now. So yeah, 14,644 total nodes, most of them cumulus, compared to Ethereum 12,000. So Flux actually has more nodes than Ethereum. That's very interesting. And you don't need 32 ETH to lock it up. It's only 1,000 Flux, which isn't too high. You can definitely trade and get that real quick or exchange some of your assets for it and put up a node. I put up this node in about 15-20 minutes, and I'm running it on my own hardware. I believe DJ Mines and a number of other people in the space were actually selling like mini towers or ITX builds or like smart, like what you would see in your work environment, those small form factor PCs that you could use as a Flux node. So there's plenty of ways to participate in a Flux node system, whereas Ethereum has a huge, what I would call, not paywall, there's a huge barrier to entry when it comes to Ethereum. But you don't have to be a validator. You need 32 ETH to be a validator. However, you can run an Ethereum node to help secure the blockchain yourself. It's just a little bit more complicated because it's coded differently, right? As a lot of people are moving more towards Rust, Docker, C++. I believe Ethereum, I forgot the name of it, uses a
Solidity, I think.
Yeah, Solidities.
Yeah.
Which is not hard. Well, it is hard. Like I don't fully understand it. But compared to other languages, there's just, it makes it a little bit harder to do for the average end user. But anyways, Yahoo News, which I don't know why people get their information from Yahoo News, but they do have a finance sector. And they say 12 new cryptocurrencies. Now, this is pure speculation, and I do not agree with any of this, but 12 new cryptocurrencies to invest in 2023. I have never heard of these damn coins. Love, hate, Inu. What the hell is that? Why are we making coins like that? Have no idea. Like, we have in coin market cap, not total, but in coin market cap, we went from, at the beginning of the year, I think around 22,000 to now another 854 on top of that. The coin is not even listed on CoinMarketCap. I don't even know what to say. Fight out? Like, why? What are we doing, guys? Why are we making these stupid coins? Fight out. It is listed on CoinMarketCap. No market data. Great. Okay. It's a move to earn fitness app. Okay. All right. Trying to get people moving, exercising. Cool. C plus charge, Robot Era, Solana X, Lend, Lunafy. Now, I did hear Lunafy, but I don't really look too much into it. Humanoid AI, DeFi Net, Pepe CEO, Kochiken, I'm not sure, and Martic. Now, I have no idea about any of these coins, but if you want to read about it, you can. However, please understand that investing or doing anything with these coins is highly, highly not recommended and a huge risk. So be careful. Now, of course, I don't pay for Business Insider, but this is something that I wanted to talk about as we wrap up the show here. Again, any last minute questions, please post it. Biden administration, and correct me if I'm wrong, Max, the Biden administration proposed something recently, and that is an increased tax on crypto miners, or the amount of electricity that crypto miners utilize to mine their Bitcoin, but additionally increased tax on people who use tax loss harvesting, right? So crypto investors could be about to lose a big tax loop as part of Biden's new budget proposal, and I believe it's regarding tax loss harvesting. Have you heard about that yet?
I know that there was, like I said, there was a proposal of 30% increase in taxes on crypto, but I didn't actually know exactly the details of the actual proposal.
Well, the current rules allow people to sell their underwater crypto investments. That means at a loss, and then claim the loss on their taxes, and then immediately buy them back. So you sell a loss, and then you immediately buy it back. Biden's, and this is just reported that Biden will propose changing the tax treatment of cryptocurrency transactions. So, heavily getting taxed.
That's just, oh shoot, what is it called? That's been against the rules in stock sale for a long time. And I can't think of what a wash sale.
Yeah, right here, wash sale rule. Yep.
Yeah, wash sale rule. That's been a rule that's been around for a while. And that was actually proposed in a law earlier this year that was expected to be passed and then somehow didn't either get passed or got taken out, one of the two. But that, so what, honestly? The wash sale rule, so what? So you sell a lot of Bitcoin and you buy Ethereum, whatever. Point being is we all know that the general market, especially crypto markets, move very closely with one another. So as long as you move into another crypto for, I don't know if it's 30 or 90 days, what the exact wash sale rule is, and you can move your money back. So to me, it's a rule that I understand why they're doing it. They don't want people just to take that tax write-off just to buy back in. But it's just going to create an obstacle. It doesn't stop us from doing anything. So you want to go ahead and do that, Biden? That's fine. I don't care. That's my opinion on it anyway.
So I know a lot of people move, like say, for example, I'm Puerto Rican, and I have family in Puerto Rico. If I wanted to move to Puerto Rico, which many crypto tubers, as far as trading goes, move to Puerto Rico because of the tax haven, and other countries because of tax havens to avoid getting taxed heavily, as the U.S. does, and many other countries. I think it's just going to force most of them to do stuff like that, or move to, and you have to be like a permanent resident, I guess, or be out of the U.S. for like 6 months or something like that. I don't know what the rules are, but it's a pain in the butt, and I cannot uproot my family and move back to Puerto Rico. I'm here in Florida, and I got to get a house built in Indianapolis. If anybody wants to help me build a house for the wife in Indianapolis, hit me up. Anyways, I'm not so worried about it. Max not so worried about it, so just be careful. But Biden budget proposal, 30% tax on crypto mining electricity usage. I'm already getting wrecked. Here in Northeast Florida, and I said this many times, JEA is wrecking its users on the electrical costs. We went from 7 cents per kilowatt hour up to 14 cents per kilowatt hour. And that's just for residential. And the more power you use, the more you get charged, because it requires more fuel, because they're not on as many renewable resources as other companies. For example, we have FPL here in Florida. I unfortunately can't get that here. It's got to be Jacksonville Electric Authority, and they're, unfortunately, if you look up in the news, this is what the news says and what articles say, the leadership there is very corrupt because of other allegations and other things that have been said. I can't validate any of that. All I know is I'm getting wrecked, and that's hurting me, which is why miners today, especially since Ethereum moves to proof of stake, just shut down their rigs or only turn it on during non-peak hours. Max, do you still do that? Do you still only turn on your rigs during non-peak hours, or are you mining 24/7 trying to?
No, actually, this time of year, my cost of electricity is pretty static, just because it's not there aren't the huge lows as far as the temps or the highs of the temps. So yeah, our mine's typically right now about 9 to 10 cents all in, including taxes and distribution.
And usually that's what it would be. Like the highest I saw in the past was 10 cent, maybe 10, like it was like 10 cent, 3, 2, or something like that. Now it's up to 14 when you count in the fuel used to supply power. I also want to make sure that nobody's tapping into, because the property, the homeowners association has another meter on my lawn that runs to the pond to I guess use the fountain to kind of stop algae from growing. And I hope that they're not charging me for that meter box that's on my property. So that's something I need to sort out. And then we talked about this USDC. Well, we talked about the impacts with Circle and SVP and stuff like that. But I just wanted to read this last article before we wrap up here. USDC investor shells out 2 million to receive 0.5 cent USDT, trying to evade the crash. So they're trying to stop the depegging, but the depegging happened regardless. So the fears have come true, and we'll see how things come out. And Circle posted here, following the confirmation at the end of today that the wires initiated on Thursday to remove the balances were not yet processed, 3.3 billion of the 40 billion of USDC reserve remain at SVP. So out of 40 billion, 3.3 is still stuck. And as Max mentioned, we'll see what happens, because things could get interesting. So,
yeah, the other, I was going to comment on the 30%. I started thinking about that a little bit. That's their first proposal. Odds are, again, companies have lobbyists, and I'm sure crypto has their lobbyists, miners have their lobbyists, and that will end up getting changed. I suspect it will get changed into, and you'll get excised on your power cost if it's not green. And so there's lots of ways to get around green laws like this. One is to buy energy credits. So green energy credits, whatever it is. There's solar renewable energy credits that you can buy. So mining firms could buy those credits in order to get around this 30%.
right.
And the other thing is there's actually like solar farms that are being built where you can lease a portion of those solar farms for your energy at a discount over what it is. Like in Illinois right now, if you go out and you actually buy into one of these farms for a certain amount of energy, that you will actually get a discount of 10, somewhere between 10 and 20% over the standard rate from the current utilities. So it's a way of saving money for mining farms, in some cases, although that's based on residential rate, not commercial. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that will come out. If this ends up going forward, it's just going to be a rise of additional companies that will come to the forefront to basically get around this law.
Interesting. Well, do you guys don't have any questions for Max? Make sure you go follow him. And I know you guys do. How often you do Mondays with Max, right? You also
Right.
come on Saturdays with the Misfit Miner crew. You post videos. What else is there?
Well, that's pretty much where I'm regularly going to be on. So I had some conversations with Rabbit. I might be on Rabbit at noon today, so in an hour. But I've been talking to you, so I'm not sure if that's happening yet or not. But
Okay.
go check out Rabbit at noon. Well, in an hour, like I said, depending on your time zone. But yeah, I'm hoping to get out some more content. The job is actually becoming more reasonable, where I actually can work more regular hours instead of 80 hours a week. It's more like 50. So that opens up a lot of time. So I'm hoping to get some more content out there.
Yeah, good. And it would be good to see. Now, don't get fooled by the subscriber count of Max Voltage. As I said, very intelligent individual, insightful, educational. So show some love if you're not already subscribed. For all my viewers, not only live watching, but also that watch in the future, thank you. And do me a favor. We're going to wrap up here. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your time and your effort, Max. I appreciate you coming on the show. Hit the like button on the way out. Make sure to get subscribed and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with what's going on with the channel. It seems a number of you are not hitting that bell notification. So please do that. And follow me on Twitter. Follow Max on Twitter. What is your handle on Twitter, by the way? Is it at Max Voltage?
Yep.
Okay. And then at SerpentX Tech. And appreciate all the support that you guys provide for us. I'm going to leave you guys with some of today's video sponsors. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Max, you got any last words?
No, I'm good.
All right. Y'all take care. This video is brought to you by JingleMine.com. Founded in Hong Kong but located throughout the world, they are one of the leading ASIC mining distributors out there. They have a strong relationship with JazzMiner, which means that they can provide you the best price and the latest info or updates for your JazzMiner. Additionally, they work hard to respond to customer inquiries or questions, providing 24/7 support, and have one of the fastest deliveries in the ASIC industry. Some of their products include the JazzMiner X4-QZ, which can hit 840 mega hash at 340 watts while being whisper quiet, and I can vouch for that. And the new X16-Q is on pre-sale now and can hit 1.8 gigahash at only 630 watts on ETC hash. Lastly, they accept a number of cryptocurrencies as payment, so if you're interested, check out the link in the description and help support our channel by supporting its partners.
Introducing the Octominer Octotank 12 Home Immersion Cooling System, the future of cryptocurrency mining and home heating. Quiet, cool, and efficient. The Octotank 12 allows you to overclock your ASIC miners up to 70% to get more performance for your money. Compatible with up to 2 ASICs. Fully plug-and-play system. The immersion system ensures that your miners stay cool. Perfect for garage or basement heating. Up to 150 square meters of heating capacity. Clean and minimalist design. Fully weatherproof. Designed to last for years. Save money while keeping your home warm and cozy this winter. Order yours now.
As a crypto miner, you know you want your equipment to be high quality. Proper cable management is part of your mining rig, and the Veteran Miner has you covered. The Veteran Miner cables are created with the best materials to ensure they are of the highest quality. Our cables are made of 16-gauge tin copper, ensuring another layer of protection from oxidation and corrosion. We support our products with a 100% guarantee. Visit our website at www.theveteranminer.com and get the best cables for your mining setup.